Travis Kelce told his brother Jason about his post-retirement plans, and when he said, "I want to have children," those words brought Jason to tears. January 6, 2026. The 3-hour drive from Kansas City to Cleveland Heights had given Travis plenty of time to think, and by the time he pulled into his childhood neighborhood, he felt more centered than he had since his retirement announcement. The familiar streets lined with mature oak trees and well-maintained houses represented something he'd been missing without realizing it. Stability, continuity, the kind of deep roots that had nothing to do with football stadiums or championship rings. He'd left Kansas City that morning needing space from the constant buzz of his phone, the speculation in the sports media, and the well-meaning but overwhelming support from friends and former teammates. Everyone wanted to know what came next, what his plans were, whether he was sure about his decision. But Travis knew there was only one person whose perspective he really needed, the brother who'd walked this exact path 2 years earlier. The Kelce family home looked exactly the same as it had during his childhood, with the same red brick facade and the basketball hoop over the garage where he and Jason had spent countless hours competing against each other. Donna's car was in the driveway next to Jason's truck, and Travis could see warm light glowing from the kitchen windows. It looked like home in a way that made him understand why he'd needed to make this drive. Jason was waiting for him on the front porch, wearing a Cleveland Browns hoodie and the kind of relaxed expression that Travis remembered from their childhood but hadn't seen much during Jason's playing days. "Look what the cat dragged in," Jason said with a grin as Travis climbed out of his car. "Mom's been cooking since 6 this morning. She's acting like you just won the Super Bowl instead of retiring from football." "She's excited about the retirement?" Travis asked, grabbing his overnight bag and following Jason up the familiar front steps. "She's excited about you choosing happiness," Jason replied, holding the door open. "She kept saying my baby's finally putting himself first," while she was prepping vegetables. "I think she's been waiting for this day longer than you have." They could hear Donna humming in the kitchen, along with the sounds of serious cooking preparation and the distant laughter of children upstairs. Jason's daughters were visiting for dinner, adding their own energy to the family gathering. "The girls are here?" Travis asked, immediately brightening at the prospect of seeing his nieces. "Kylie's bringing them down in about an hour. Wyatt's been asking about Uncle Travis all week, and Finley's been practicing saying your name. It's pretty cute, actually. Comes out like Uncle Twab's." They settled into their father's old study, surrounded by decades of family photos and football memorabilia that told the story of two brothers who both made it to the highest level of their sport. The room felt like a sanctuary, removed from the outside world and perfect for the kind of conversation Travis knew he needed to have. "So," Jason said, taking their dad's familiar leather chair while Travis stretched out on the couch that had been the site of so many important family discussions over the years. "How's it feel to be officially done? Like, really done, not just thinking about being done?" Travis considered the question seriously, appreciating that Jason wasn't rushing him toward any particular answer. "Honestly, it feels like I can finally breathe. I didn't realize how much tension I was carrying until I didn't have to carry it anymore." "Yeah, I remember that feeling," Jason nodded. "Like you've been holding your breath for 12 years and suddenly someone told you it was okay to exhale. But there's also the weird identity thing, right? Like, who are you when you're not Travis Kelce, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs?" "Exactly," Travis said, relieved that his brother understood without him having to explain. "That's actually part of why I wanted to come up here and talk to you. Because you've been through this transition, and you came out the other side happier than I've ever seen you." Jason leaned forward, recognizing the shift in his brother's tone toward something more serious. "What's on your mind, Trav?" Travis was quiet for a moment, staring at a photo on the wall of Jason holding baby Wyatt after winning the Super Bowl with Philadelphia. The image represented everything Travis had been thinking about, the way fatherhood had transformed his brother, given him something more important than any professional achievement. "I know what I want my post-football life to look like," Travis said finally, "and it's not what most people probably expect." "What do you mean?" "I mean I don't want to jump into broadcasting or coaching or starting some business empire. Those things might come later, but that's not what I'm focused on right now." Travis looked directly at his brother. I want to focus on building a family with Taylor. I want to be a husband first, and then. He took a deep breath. I want to be a dad, Jason. I want to have kids. The words hung in the air between them, and Jason felt something shift in his chest. This wasn't just Travis talking about vague future plans or typical post-retirement goals. This was his little brother, at 36, articulating exactly what he wanted his life to become with complete certainty and readiness. I've been watching you with your girls for years, Travis continued, his voice growing stronger and more animated. I've seen how you light up when Wyatt wants to throw the football around, or how patient you are when Elliot needs help with her homework, or how gentle you are when little Finley falls asleep on your chest during movie nights. I've seen how being a dad has changed you, made you better, given you something more important than any championship ring. Jason felt his eyes starting to well up, moved by the depth of emotion in his brother's voice and the realization that Travis had been observing and learning from his own journey into fatherhood. I want that, Jace. I want to teach my kids how to throw a spiral, but also how to be kind to people. I want Sunday dinners at Mom's house where there are kids running around making noise and being chaotic and happy. I want to be completely present for bedtime stories and soccer games and school plays and all those moments that actually matter. Travis's voice cracked slightly. I want to experience what you have with your daughters, but I want my own kids too. That's when Jason completely lost his composure. Tears started flowing down his face as the full weight of what his brother was sharing hit him. This wasn't just Travis talking about wanting children someday in the abstract. This was Travis having made the conscious decision to retire from football specifically so he could prioritize building a family, talking about his dreams with the kind of clarity and emotional readiness that Jason had never heard from him before. Jesus Christ, Travis, Jason said, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand. I wasn't prepared for you to make me cry in Dad's office. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to get you emotional, Travis said, sitting up with concern. I just needed to tell someone who'd understand what this means to me. No, these are good tears, Jason assured him, still working to compose himself. It's just hearing you talk like that, with that kind of certainty about being a father. Travis, it makes me so damn proud of you, and so happy for you. Jason stood up and walked over to the window, looking out at the neighborhood where they'd both grown up, collecting his thoughts before turning back to face his brother. When I retired 2 years ago, I was terrified about who I'd be without football. I went through some really dark months where I didn't know what my purpose was anymore. I'd wake up and have this moment of panic because there was no practice to go to, no meetings to attend, no structure to my day. Kylie basically had to carry me through that transition because I was so lost. He sat back down, looking directly at Travis with the kind of serious expression that meant he was about to share something important. But what I figured out, after months of feeling sorry for myself, is that the best parts of who I am have nothing to do with football. They're about being Kylie's husband and the girl's father. They're about showing up for family dinners and helping with homework and being present for all the little moments that make up a real life. That's exactly what I want, Travis said. I want to discover who Travis Kelce is when he's not defined by catching passes and winning games. And I think that person is going to be a really good husband and father. You're going to be an incredible dad, Jason said with complete conviction. I've watched you with my girls, Travis. I've seen how you naturally connect with kids, how you get down on their level and really listen to them. You don't just entertain them or buy them things, you actually engage with who they are as people. Wyatt still asks when Uncle Travis is coming to visit every time we talk to her on the phone. The sound of footsteps on the stairs interrupted their conversation, followed by the unmistakable sound of little girls trying to be quiet and failing completely. Speak of the devil, Jason grinned. Sounds like the troops have arrived. A moment later, Kylie appeared in the doorway with 4-year-old Finley on her hip, followed by Wyatt, Elliot, and Bennett, all of whom immediately lit up when they saw Travis. Uncle Travis! Wyatt shouted, launching herself across the room and into his arms with the kind of uninhibited joy that only children possess. Hey there, superstar, Travis said, catching her in a bear hug and spinning her around. I missed you guys. We missed you too, Elliot said, more reserved but equally happy to see him. Daddy said you came to visit because you retired from football. That's right, Travis said, settling Wyatt on his lap while the other girls gathered around the couch. I decided it was time to spend more time with family instead of playing football all the time. Does that mean you'll come to more of our soccer games? Bennett asked hopefully. It definitely means that, Travis assured her, and Jason watched the interaction with a knowing smile. And I think that person is going to be a really good husband and father. You're going to be an incredible dad, Jason said with complete conviction. I've watched you with my girls, Travis. I've seen how you naturally connect with kids, how you get down on their level and really listen to them. You don't just entertain them or buy them things, you actually engage with who they are as people. For the next 20 minutes, the serious conversation was replaced by the beautiful chaos of family life. Wyatt wanted to show Travis her latest drawings. Elliot needed help with a math problem she'd been working on, and little Finley was content to sit on Travis's lap and babble at him in her own special language that he seemed to understand perfectly. Jason watched his brother with his daughters, seeing the natural ease Travis had with children, the way he gave each of them his complete attention, the patience he showed when Finley tried to put her tiny hands over his eyes as a game. It confirmed everything Jason had said about Travis being ready for fatherhood. Girls, why don't you go help Grandma Donna set the table? Kylie suggested after a while. Uncle Travis and Daddy need to finish their grown-up talk. After the girls had thundered back upstairs, chattering excitedly about dinner and their day at school, Travis and Jason settled back into their conversation with a different energy. See what I mean? Jason said quietly. You're a natural with them. They adore you, and you clearly love being around them. I do, Travis admitted. Every time I'm with your girls, I think about what it would be like to have that relationship with my own kids. To be the person they run to when they're excited or hurt or confused. To be the dad who shows up for everything that matters to them. Jason's expression grew more serious. I need you to understand something about being a parent, though. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done and the most rewarding thing you've ever done, sometimes in the same 5-minute period. There are going to be sleepless nights that stretch into sleepless weeks. There are going to be tantrums that test your patience in ways no defensive coordinator ever could. There are going to be moments when you question whether you have any idea what you're doing. I want all of it, Travis said without hesitation. The hard parts and the amazing parts. I'm ready for the full experience. And there are going to be moments, Jason continued, his voice growing softer and more emotional, when they look at you like you're the most important person in their world. When they say, Daddy, for the first time. When they run to you when they get hurt. When they want to be just like you when they grow up. Those moments are going to change you in ways you can't even imagine right now. Travis felt his own eyes starting to tear up. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to love someone that unconditionally. What about Taylor? How does she feel about starting a family? Travis's entire face lit up at the mention of her name. She wants it as much as I do. We've talked about it extensively, and she's as excited as I am about becoming parents. She jokes that our kids are going to be double trouble because they'll have her creativity and stubbornness combined with my competitive streak, but she can't wait to be a mom. Oh, God, Jason laughed, wiping the last of his tears away. The world is definitely not ready for that combination. I know, right? But imagine how incredible they're going to be with Taylor as their mom. Smart and talented and confident and kind and creative. Travis paused, his expression growing more tender. We're thinking about starting to try sometime after the wedding. Not immediately. We want to enjoy being newlyweds for a little while, but soon. We're both ready for that next step. Jason looked at his brother, seeing not just the NFL star he'd watched dominate on television for over a decade, but a man who was ready to take on the most important and meaningful role of his life. You know what I think? Jason said finally. What? I think you retiring when you did was the smartest decision you've ever made. Not because you couldn't keep playing at an elite level, we both know you could have dominated for several more years, but because you recognized that there was something more important than football waiting for you. Travis nodded, feeling completely validated by his brother's perspective. That's exactly how I feel about it. I'm not walking away from football because I'm disappointed or burnt out or can't compete anymore. I'm walking toward something better. And that something is being a husband and a father. Being the kind of husband and father I want to be, Travis corrected. Present, engaged, prioritizing my family over everything else. I've watched too many athletes try to balance being elite professionals with being good parents, and something always suffers. Usually it's the family. I don't want to be the dad who misses school plays because of practice, or the husband who's too tired from training to really be present for his wife. Jason stood up and walked over to the couch, sitting down next to his brother with the kind of serious expression that meant he was about to share something important. Travis, I need to tell you something, and I want you to really hear me. Okay. When I first retired, I was genuinely scared that I was going to lose myself completely. That without football, I wouldn't know who I was or what my purpose was or how to structure my days. And for a while, that fear was completely justified. I did feel lost and directionless and honestly pretty depressed. Jason's voice grew more emotional as he continued. But what I discovered, after working through all that confusion and uncertainty, is that the person I am as Kylie's husband and the girl's dad is actually the best version of myself I've ever been. That guy is more patient, more present, more loving, more genuinely happy than the guy who was focused primarily on football achievements. The relationships, and the love and the family we've built together, that's what actually matters in life. He paused, making sure Travis was following him completely. You're about to discover the same thing. The best parts of Travis Kelce have nothing to do with tight end routes or championship rings or ESPN highlights. They're about the man you are when you're with the people you love most. And that man is going to be an absolutely incredible husband and father. Travis felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. Thank you for saying that, Jason. I needed to hear it from someone who's been through this exact transition. It's not just something I'm saying to make you feel better. It's the complete truth. I've watched you figure out how to prioritize love over career achievements over the past couple of years. I've seen how you've grown and matured and become more thoughtful about what really matters. You're already becoming the person you want to be. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes, both processing the emotional weight of the conversation they'd just shared. Outside, they could hear Donna calling them for dinner, her voice mixing with the laughter and chatter of the girls as they set the table. Can I ask you one more thing? Travis said finally. Anything. Do you ever regret retiring when you did? Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd played a few more years, maybe tried to win another championship? Jason thought about the question seriously, understanding why Travis needed to hear the answer. I miss specific things about football. I miss the camaraderie in the locker room. I miss the feeling of executing a perfect play. I miss the adrenaline rush of big games and the satisfaction of winning. But do I regret the timing of my retirement? Not for a single day. Why not? Because retiring when I did meant I got to be completely present for Finley's entire first year of life. It meant I was there when she took her first steps and said her first words. It meant I got to coach Wyatt's soccer team this fall and be at every single one of Elliot's dance recitals. It meant I was there to support Kylie through some really difficult postpartum struggles after Bennett was born. Jason's voice grew stronger and more certain. Football gave me incredible experiences and opportunities, but it also demanded everything from me. Retiring gave me my family back in a way I didn't even realize I'd lost them. That's what I want, Travis said with complete conviction. I want to give Taylor and our future kids the absolute best version of myself, not whatever's left over after football takes what it needs. Then you're making the right choice at exactly the right time. Donna's voice calling them to dinner grew more insistent, and they could hear the girls getting increasingly excited about the family meal that was clearly ready to be served. We should probably get in there before Mom sends a search party, Jason said, standing up and offering Travis his hand. Definitely. But Jason, thank you for this conversation, for understanding what this means to me, for sharing your own experience, for being excited about what comes next instead of trying to talk me out of it. That's what big brothers are for, Jason replied, pulling Travis into the kind of tight hug they've been sharing since childhood. And Travis, when you and Taylor start having kids, those children are going to be so incredibly lucky to have you as their dad. And they're going to be lucky to have Uncle Jason showing them what it looks like to be a great father. Dinner was everything Travis had hoped it would be, chaotic, loving, and full of the kind of genuine happiness that can only come from family. He watched Jason interact with his daughters throughout the meal, seeing the way his brother had completely embraced fatherhood, the patience he showed when Finley made a mess with her food, the pride in his eyes when Wyatt told a story about helping a classmate, the gentle way he redirected Bennett when she got too excited. This was exactly what Travis wanted for his own future. Sunday dinners filled with laughter and conversation, children who felt completely loved and secure, a partner who shared in the beautiful responsibility of raising the next generation. Watching this family dynamic play out in real time confirmed everything he'd been feeling about his retirement decision. Later that evening, as he prepared for the drive back to Kansas City, Jason walked him out to his car under a sky full of January stars. "One more thing," Jason said as Travis loaded his overnight bag into the trunk. "What's that?" "June 13th can't get here fast enough. I can't wait to watch you marry Taylor, and I can't wait to see what kind of life you guys build together after that." "It's going to be incredible," Travis said with the kind of certainty that comes from making decisions that align perfectly with your deepest values. "All of it. The wedding, the marriage, the family we're going to create. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. That certainty is going to carry you through everything that comes next," Jason said. "Trust it, and trust yourself. You're ready for this." As Travis drove back to Kansas City that night, the highway stretching out ahead of him under a clear winter sky, he felt a deep sense of peace about the path he'd chosen. The conversation with Jason had confirmed what he'd already known in his heart, that he was ready for this next chapter, that he was making these choices for all the right reasons, and that the future he was building with Taylor was worth every sacrifice. The drive gave him time to think about everything his brother had shared, about the challenges and joys of fatherhood, about the way love could transform your entire understanding of what mattered in life. By the time he pulled into his driveway in Kansas City, Travis felt more excited about his future than he had felt about anything in years. In 5 months, he'd be standing at an altar promising to love and honor Taylor for the rest of his life. And not long after that, if everything went according to plan, they'd be starting the family they both dreamed of. The thought of teaching his own children how to throw a football, of watching Taylor become a mother, of creating the kind of loving chaos he'd witnessed at Jason's dinner table, it all felt not just possible but inevitable. The greatest chapter of Travis Kelce's life was about to begin, and thanks to his conversation with Jason, he felt completely ready to embrace everything that came with choosing love over legacy, family over fame, and presence over professional achievement. What do you think about Travis's conversation with Jason about wanting to start a family? Have you ever had a sibling help guide you through a major life transition? Share your thoughts in the comments, because sometimes the most important support comes from people who've walked the same path before us. And if this story reminded you that family conversations can provide the clarity we need during big life changes, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about brotherhood, life transitions, and choosing what matters most. Because sometimes the most meaningful guidance comes from the people who love us unconditionally.